Hello everybody and welcome back to Formula Fun Sim Racing. It's once again myself, Zabi here, and we are back with another racing action, and tonight it's going to be here at the Austrian Grand Prix. There's going to be 18 laps of racing between these amazing drivers. It has been scrubbins at the top from the last few Grand Prix. Spliff is in P3, his highest qualifying since the start of the season, if I'm not mistaken, and Fly Scott then in P4 with High B in P5, and then completes the grid is Footy in P6. High B, last year's winner around here in Austria, so definitely thinking to maybe double that luck with that on another new livery and something that's going to follow up on that results as well. And before we just get started, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. It's none other than Zenzoku at the top, still leading the Drivers' title. 220 points to their name. Scrubbins then is back in second place and has maintained it from the previous round with 153 points to their name. Fly Scott then with 146 in P3. I'm sure that fight has been going all season long before second place in the championship. Definitely it's going to be still on. Then it's AI with 113 and High B with 107 points to their names. Then Footy with 70 points. Then comes Spliff with 30 scored another good points in the previous round in Canada. But let's not waste any time and let's get started for the Austrian Grand Prix. We're just seeing the lights now go red. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to be 5 lights out, and we go racing. They were held for so long. The 5 red lights and the top 2 are still going to be there going to turn 1. There's going to be cars battling out into turn 1 at the back as well. But round the outside, Scrubbins going to go through. He's still in that race lead going to turn 1, and all these cars head through turn 2 and into 3. There he goes. Zen is right behind Scrubbins, and then there is Fly Scott at the back trying to fight out Spliff, who started in P3. Fly Scott's just going to take that position. Turn 3 as well, taking that, but he's going to go wide. He's going to run super wide. That's going to allow Spliff to come back on the track, but no, he's not going to be close enough. That's going to allow then Fly Scott to move forward, but now Spliff in pressure from High B as well. That new livery for High B might be working out, but into turn 4, just ahead is going to be Spliff there, and not letting through High B into the position ahead. Just being able to defend there, but High B might as well try and go for it once again, but no, that was not going to be close enough. But Spliff's going to go wide. Still, that's not going to be enough for High B to be through, but that's surely going to be making it closer for High B to be able to have a better chance into the end of the lap or that main straight when they go through, as the DRS is available at the end of lap 1 now in Formula 1. So that is a very good opportunity now as they head into turn 1. That's going to be a good opportunity up the hill into turn 2 and 3. Everyone with that DRS is going to be needing that for sure. Meanwhile, Fitty at the back in P6. Just behind High B, but he's far behind High B at the moment, over 1 second. The gap closer is between these two drivers. The top 3 are closer, Scrubbins, Zen and Fly Scott, and then the gap between High B and Spliff is not far away from each other as well. And Austria generally provides a lot of penalties. It's the home of penalty, really, if you say, because of track limits. So many track penalty limits. Usually drivers get so many track limit penalties. We'll see how many drivers actually get penalties, but I'd be surprised if the whole grid doesn't have a penalty, or any driver that doesn't have a penalty. Not counting the AIs, of course, because there are 4 AI drivers in the session, completing the grid out to be 10 drivers, but the 6 drivers that we are going to be looking at the moment. High B still going through, currently in P5, looking to get ahead of Spliff in a P4, but not at the moment. So far for High B. He's looking after it, I'm sure. He would be wanting to move forward in this race, but as we're heading into lap 3 out of 18 now. Lap, of course, it's not a big lap around here Austria as well. It's a shorter lap in terms of lap times. It's 107 to 108, which I think should be average lap times in the race as well. But now High B is going to be very close to Spliff there. They're definitely within 1 second, and that rear wing is going to be opening for High B. There could well be an opportunity. Meanwhile, we switch to the front wing of Fly Scott there, and he's almost going to go super wide and into the gravel there in the turn 4. Just staying behind Zen there might have given him some dirty air, which of course would have turned out to be very difficult to control the car ahead. Of course, dirty air effect, I don't know I don't specifically remember how it was on F1 24. As on F1 25, it's very effective, and almost compared to real life, it's really, really hard to follow a car and then not lose any time ahead of you if you stay behind for too long. But sure, it is looking forward. It is looking pretty good for Fly Scott at this point, as he's gaining and gaining and gaining on Zen. But is he going to gain enough to go through into P2? The DRS is open for Fly Scott, but is it enough to get through for him to move into P3? But no, not into P3, but into P2. But it's not going to be enough around here, though. But is it going to be enough? It is another DRS zone. It's almost every corner around here is in the DRS. Is it going to be an opportunity for Fly Scott? Not this time as well. Zenz manages to stay ahead. The gap is about 5/10 between the two. The gap between the two leaders is 1.9 seconds. Not the two leaders, but of course the top two. I shall be saying the top two in this race. So 2.1 seconds. Indeed, Scribbins is gaining at the moment on Zen. So now this is the point. I mean, either at this point we see Zen's going to defend. Zen's going to try and defend his second place, maybe, try and achieve the best result that he can in the last few races. Or he says that I want to fight for the lead and push on otherwise. Or he wants to defend from Fly Scott and keep that position to himself to the end of this race. Meanwhile, High B is at the back. At the front is going to be going on the inside line into turn one. Around the outside is going to be Spliff, and High B is going to make that position, and he's going to do that. Really, he's finally made that move. That move was coming almost since lap 1, and that has happened on lap 5. But is Spliff going to come back at him, though? Because that is not going to be out of question as well, as now it's going to be Spliff with that DRS, with that rear wing open. High B might be in deep trouble, though, but I don't think, is it going to be deep enough? Not sure this time around, but it might be, just be, as they head into turn 4. Spliff's going to send it on the inside line, and he's even made that move stick so far. He's going to keep it there to himself, and what a move that was. For a moment we were thinking that he was not close enough, but he really sent it there on the inside line, and what a move from Spliff. And both of these drivers are really fighting, but Spliff just sent that message as well, that he does not want High B to think that Spliff will not be fighting or backing out at any moment. So he really gets any opportunity. He's going to be through you there, and he's really done it this time around as well. Don't forget, though, High B is again going to get that DRS and the rear wing opening exactly in the same moment that he overtook him before. He's going to do that even before this time around, as he tried to defend it, Spliff, but no. Or is he? Because the High B's went really wide there on the exit. Even if he didn't go wide, Spliff was there on the inside line, and he might just stick there going into turn 3, these two. And the High B's in fact got that rear wing open, but Spliff still got the better exit, better traction out of turn 1, and he was ahead of High B almost. They were still going side by side, but no. Again, that's going to be High B just staying ahead of Spliff. For a moment we saw they were going side by side, and Spliff was going to be making that move, but High B just stood there. He stood brave, and really, I mean, the brave wins in the end, and he really has shown out there. And there is some tyre marks on the exit of turn 4 gravel there. I'm surely seeing some driver going out in that gravel. We didn't see it live, but maybe there must have been a driver. And then the back there was a little slide there from Spliff, and that's going to be cautious, and that is going to be visible as well, as Spliff's going to go into one of the walls there. We can't see him, but there is a green flag waving at the back. That means that must have been yellow for a moment. That now goes green, and Spliff just on the exit. A few corners back, we saw him running around, sliding around, and then just there as he was behind High B, he definitely might have just been thinking that maybe is that not going to be enough, or pushing too much. Sometimes that happens as well, especially in that part of this track here in Austria. If you're pushing too hard, you might be going spinning around on the exit of those curbs, or hitting those curbs at the wrong times. So far it stands, lap 77 out of 18, and some drivers, of course, on the mediums and some on the soft tyres. So we should be seeing drivers pitting in as well. Scribbins still leads 2.3 seconds between the top two at this point, and Fly Scott has fallen back actually, so not quite sure whether he fall back because of a mistake, or Zen just pulled away from him because of his speed. And High B now 2.2 seconds behind Fly Scott as well. So this could be the fight for the third place, could be on. I mean, you never know, but I'm sure we should be seeing drivers into the pits very soon, and there might be a driver into the pits at that point, it looked like. And yes, there is going to be a driver into the pits. Not quite sure who it was, because At the moment, still Zen is over 2 seconds ahead, and Fly Scott's behind. So it could be Footy, it could be somebody else from the AIs, not quite sure. But yes, it might be Spliff. We don't know, but they made a mistake as well, so they might have fallen back at this point, because Footy's over 50 seconds behind, currently in P10 at the very back. So might have had an incident at the start, which we might have not seen. So at this point, as it stays, lap 8 out of 18. The pit stops would be coming very soon now. Zen is on those medium tires, so definitely again choosing the different strategy from others, which we saw him do at the start of the season, which definitely were a big factor in many of his victories throughout the season. So definitely choosing the soft tire towards the end, of course, makes you go faster.
Catching up to me.
Allows you to go very quicker than you would want, and then you would be than others in that second stint, because maybe first stint, if he's got that 1.5 seconds gap to Scrubbins, if Scrubbins on the soft tire, we don't know at the moment on what tire he's on. He might be on the medium, but I think he is on the soft compound tire, because that 1.5 seconds, let me tell you what, when that second stint, when Scrubbins going to be on the medium and Zen's going to be on those softs, it's going to be very, very different. And Fly Scott now comes into the pits. Softs off, mediums should be on for Fly Scott there, though that third place fight would be on as well between IB and Fly Scott. You never know towards the end of this race, and now we should be seeing anyone from the leads of this race should be coming in as well now. I think soft tire runners, it should be time. Maybe on the medium you can extend a little bit longer. Maybe we see Zen go a lap or two longer than Scrubbins, or we could see them both pitting on the same lap as well. And nobody of the two pits at the moment, so that explains that they still want to go longer, still want to go into lap 10 then. Both of them 1.3 seconds only, so at this point the gap, remember, was over 2 seconds. So definitely Scrubbins being on those soft tires is running out. Those soft tires are running out of grip and traction now for him, because even the medium tires have been out for over 10 laps, but he's going to go into the be gaining on Scrubbins on Scrubbins at this point. And hard tire, that is interesting that Hypebeast went on for the hard compound tire from medium to hard. So we'll find out whether what Zen wants to do. I'm pretty sure he'd go for the soft tire, because soft tire would not be too bad towards the end, but Hype went for the hard compound tire. That was an interesting choice. Maybe they don't have a new set of soft tires because of they must have used it in qualifying, because sometimes you use a lot of all the tires available to give you the best chance. And by the looks of it, Scrubbins might be coming to the pits now. He's placed his car that way, and Zen would be as well. Both of them now coming into the pits, following each other. Then this could be interesting between the top two at this point.
I had a slight off entry to the pit, and you're right behind me now. Hopefully we have the same pit.
Will it be the white car of Scrubbins, or will it be the blue car of Zen? Zen is going to the soft compound tires, and he's out of the pits box already. Should be on the exit, and both of them now out. And let me tell you, I think I saw red on Scrubbins' tires as well. Not quite sure.
No, you're right behind me. God damn it.
Earlier it looked like he was on the soft, but I'm sure he wouldn't go, obviously, on the softs again. So assuming that might be the medium tires earlier for him, but looking at his tires, I would definitely like to know, because I don't know, Zen's car, the color of Zen's car is in such a way that it's easier to judge the color of tires from his car, apart from other drivers. And it looks like, I think it should be soft tires for Scrubbins as well as it stands. So it looks like that. It looks like sure he has soft tires as well. So this would be very amazing now between these two, because the gap is 7/10, and to the end of this race we could be seeing these guys fighting side by side and going side by side again and again, because as it stands, both of them being on the soft compound tire, it's generally gonna be against a driver versus driver, because for that first part of the race, most part of that first stint was Scrubbins ahead of Zen, and really Zen had to fight Fly Scott for most part, but then no, Zen was on his own after the ending laps on those medium tires. So this is going to be now very interesting, because Lap 12 out of 18. Not a lot of laps to the end of this race now. 7 laps including this one. Could be a beautiful opportunity because we don't see any graphics at this point on the screen. But let me tell you, I'm sure I'd be surprised if nobody yet has gotten a time penalty to this race. Or this could be interesting towards the end as well. Maybe we see somebody getting a penalty towards the end. We never know. You never know though, because this is Austria. I'm telling you, even not expecting anything, just driving around Austria. This is a track that's going to give you a lot of track limit penalties, a lot of track limit warnings. So it's not impossible, but it's very hard to stay away from these track limits here around Austria. The gap is now closing between the two. The gap is just now over 5/10 at this point in time. So this could be an opportunity for Zen coming up very soon. And these two have been fighting so far. There hasn't been much fight actually, but they have been very close of each other, and now Zen might well be going for that race lead, which he hasn't quite went for it on that first stint or tried for it, but he's been gaining and gaining since the pit stop and before the end of that first stint as well. And I can confirm you now, the Scrubbins is on the soft compound tire as well, both of them on the same compound tire, but that rear wing is only going to be to that one driver. It is going to be Zen, and going to turn 4 down the inside line. He sent it on the inside, and Zen is through now, but Scrubbins might be around the outside as well, coming back at him, because this could be pretty interesting. It's not going to be easy for Zen as well. Round the outside, Scrubbins going to try and hang it on there. This could well be a race-ending fight, or a race towards the end of the race, and there might have been contact between the two. If there was, Scrubbins at the back of Zen might have went into the back of Zen's car there. You never know though, but again into the final corner, almost. They were side by side, but it wasn't enough, and Zen has managed his lead for a whole lap at this point. But is it going to be enough again? Because now it's going to be Scrubbins with that rear wing opening and an opportunity to go for it into turn 1. He doesn't quite go for it into turn 1, but... And there is Scrubbin running wide. He's ran pretty wide there, and that is just going to be cherry on top for Zen, because if he didn't run wide, this was definitely going to be a chance for him to overtake. But oh, is he almost going to be a chance still? He sure went pretty wide, but did not lose time. But this time around, he goes wide round the outside. He went pretty wide there on the runoff area into turn 3. And now, the penalties we were talking about, Scrubbins has got a 3-second time penalty, and that might just go against him, because this fight is all race long. And now, Scrubbins just wants Zen to get a penalty as well, because let me tell you, if Zen doesn't get a penalty at this point, there is just pretty much a victory guaranteed for him, because with the amount of laps remaining at this point, it would just not be enough time with the speed that Zen also has for Scrubbins to overtake him and then get a time penalty of over 3, then gain an advantage of over 3 seconds, because this might just be not impossible. But again, this time around though, he doesn't care about the penalty, even if it is. Scrubbin's still going to try and overtake on track, and he does overtake on track. Going into turn 1, he overtakes with that DRS and help of that DRS, but again, Zen's going to get that opportunity once more, and could well be on the overtake into turn 3. Is he going to send it on the inside line? No, he will not. He's just not close enough to be making that move. But he doesn't care about that, as he's going to get that opportunity once more with that rear wing opening on his car and putting a lot of pressure on Scrubbins at this point in time. But no, he's still not going to go for it into turn 4, and maybe just wants to stay out, wants to stay behind. I mean, he's taking it smoothly, he's taking it cautiously now, knowing that Scrubbins has got a penalty, so he definitely doesn't want to get a penalty at this point, because he knows that if he gets it, his victory chance might be a lot less, because he then would need to overtake Scrubbins out on track. And at this point, as it stands, even if he does not overtake Scrubbins to the end of this race, he should be taking that victory to himself. But still, the fight is going to be on. The fight out on track is going to be on, and Scrubbins is not going to be pressure free from Zen at this point. Even if he's in the lead, even if he's got the penalty, Zen's not going to back out. I'm sure that's just the mentality of a driver. That's just the mentality of two drivers racing out on the track. And it's going to be now Zen again round the outside with that rear wing. He's going to be coming up for that move and round the outside. Who's going to be late on the brakes though? It is going to be Zen around here, and this was the part where Scrubbins ran very wide round the outside and got him a penalty. This time, though. He does stay within the white lines, within the track limits. Is he going to go for it round the inside? Down the inside, I shall say, into turn 4. No, he's not going to go for it. And in the moment we were fighting, and we're seeing these cars go side by side again and again, just closer to each other, fighting this battle once more. But the gap between the two is very less. But then, oh, that's going to be wide going. That is going to be wide going, and making a mistake will be Scrubbins. I mean, he's been overtaken by Zen. He's made the mistake at the back as well, the same place where Spliff had a spin-off as well. But has he lost enough time? No, he's still going to be within 1 second of Zen, and an opportunity for him to overtake, though. And going into turn 3 could be on. Going into turn 2, we shall say. Going to turn 1 and they straight, which is a non-existent turn 2, but they still call it around here, around Austria. So the braking zone right-hander is turn 3 instead of turn 4, instead of turn 2. So this is going to be pretty interesting. And lap 17 out of 18. We're coming to the end of this race very early, and not very early, of course, on time, but in terms of early, in terms of some battles going out on track, drivers fighting. So we just not knowing at this point. We've almost forgot about others in this race, with Zen leading ahead of Scrubbins in P2. Scrubbins got a 3-second time penalty. Fly Scott is in P3, running in the final podium position. High P is in P4. Then it is Spliff and Footy at the very back of the grid in P9 and 10. Lap 17 out of 18, which is going to turn into a lap 18 out of 18 on this straight, just this time around. So this is pretty interesting. I mean, it's going to be quite nice, and Scrubbins has got the DRS. He might just go for it into turn 1, but he just stays behind. He's got that DRS. I mean, might as well give us a one last show. He knows he's not going to win it on track unless Zen gets a last lap penalty. He's going to go around the outside now with the help of that DRS, and going to be making this move, and he might just well be, but no, he's got the move ahead of Zen, so he's not going to get that DRS. He's went in that detection point ahead of Zen, so Zen's going to be getting that rear wing opening and that DRS to himself. Might as well try and go for it in turn 4. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he will. Down the inside line, he sends it, but he might just run wide, and that's going to allow Scrubbins to come back, and now he's going to be almost ahead as well. Both of them are still going side by side, and the action is on. Nobody wants to quit, nobody wants to let the other through still, and they're still side by side and will-to-will racing between the two. Right on the outside, Scrubbins has made this move possible, and has this made this move stick, though. But is he going to be sticking enough to be to himself, to the line, to over the line? They're going to go into the final corner, almost there. Zen was going to go for it. One more corner to go. Scrubbins is into the race, or lead of the race, or is he going to be lead of the race? It's almost going to be a photo finish, and just over the line. Scrubbins might have just gotten over the line in P1, but with this penalty, it's going to be Zen back on the top on the victory. Then P2 for Scrubbins, with Fly Scott completing the top 3 of this race in P3. And what a race, and what a battle for the lead this was. Even if Scrubbins had that penalty, I mean, he still showed that he had the speed to win. And definitely the fight to the end of the championship is not going to be boring at all. And then it's High B completing the top 4 of this race.
No.
God! That was awesome. That was so cool.
Oh
nice.
my gosh. Bro,
good
my heart
racing.
is racing right now.
Nice job.
That was really good.
Zane then back to the top of Formula 1 and the top of the tables, taking his 8th victory of the season. Scrubbins in P3 with Fly Scott in, Scrubbins in P2 with Fly Scott in P3 with High B. Another P4, another top 4 finish for him in P4. Then it's Spliff and Footy at the very back in P9 and 10. That's it then for the Austrian Grand Prix from myself and from us here at Formula Fun Sim Racing. And see you next time at the British Grand Prix.